If you're serious about building a career in finance, make sure you follow the podcast so you don't miss future episodes. Hey everyone, in this episode of Finance Unplugged, we're joined by Dhruv Kumar, who's studying Economics, Finance, and Entrepreneurship as a third year student at Ashoka University and has gone on to intern in investment banking at PwC while also being involved in venture capital with Campus Fund. We'll be discussing what students should actually be doing during university to maximize their chances to break into top firms, from building the right skill set to gaining relevant experience for positioning yourself strategically for comparative roles while still in uni. Dhruv, it's great to have you here with us.
Great to be here. Great to be here.
I'm excited to learn from you, man, and I know for a fact that the listener is very excited as well. But before we get into the insights, I want to learn about you. What was your
Yeah,
childhood like, and how did it influence the way you approach university and what you chose at Ashoka?
great. Yeah. So, I'll give you a brief introduction. I'm currently a third year econ finance major at Ashoka, and I'm from Bangalore. So, I was born and brought up in Bangalore. And I think coming to Ashoka was more of a pleasant surprise for me as well, because growing up, most of my time was spent on a cricket field. I was actually training professionally, and I pivoted towards a more academic sort of path when COVID hit. So coming to Ashoka, I mean, the plan was always to sort of get into a college in Bangalore and pursue cricket, but circumstances brought me to Ashoka. Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy with the way college has been going and excited for this podcast. Yeah,
On campus, there's this belief that if you simply do well in your degree and you pursue all of your academics, attend lectures, score
yeah,
high, the finance offer will naturally flow. You're still in university and you're actively building towards investment banking, venture capital, private equity, those sort of things. Is university
right.
coursework alone enough? And if not, what should students actually be doing with that to maximize their chances in the long run?
Great. I think the first thing is don't limit yourself. So, I think like you mentioned private equity, and I've done, a couple of internships in venture capital and IB. But I think when you're looking at finance, especially when you're in university, it's always a good idea to not limit yourself to, thinking about just getting into one type of finance, or for example, if it's investment banking or private equity. When it comes to just coursework alone being enough, no, it's definitely not enough. Especially in economics and finance degree at Ashoka is a lot more focused on the economics aspect. So if you're someone looking to break into finance, I think it's always good to do academically, because for recruiters it's always that's one of your markers when you're applying. It sort of just tests your rigor. If you're doing well in school that or college, it just means that you're someone who can show up and do well whatever challenge is presented in front of them. So I think doing well in college is good, but it's definitely not enough. So if you're someone looking to do finance, there are a lot of other things that you can do on the side. So when it comes to skill building, there are quite a few clubs and societies on campus itself that you should join. If you're, for example, there could be an investments club on your campus or a finance club or something like that. So being a part of these sort of environments from the get-go is very helpful. Apart from this, there are professional degrees as well. So there is a CFA, for example, for people interested in finance. I don't want to go too much into CFA or other professional degrees, but to answer your question in short, to holistically develop a finance profile, you need to be looking for opportunities outside as well, talking to a lot of people, whether seniors or just people involved in the college ecosystem who could help. So it could be fireside chats with founders from different companies who keep coming into college. So yeah,
Right. You mentioned talking to a lot of people. I'll get back to it in the later stages of the
right.
podcast. Uh,
Yeah,
what you said paves the way for another question that I had for you. Most students, they
right.
start getting serious in second, third year. For you, what did
Yeah.
you start to do in first year itself to position yourself in such a powerful position? Because I saw that you had an internship in the beginning of second year or in the end of first year, somewhere around that time.
Correct. Correct. I actually started, I did my first internship while I was still in school. So I was in my 12th grade. And during my 12th grade, I did my first internship. So I think that, getting serious later on is not the best idea. Ideally, you should be, if you want to build a career in finance or consulting or whatever it is, sort of starting early always helps. So if you're in school, you have some opportunity. It could even be through a warm connect, someone who who gets you that internship. That does make sense to do because finance is so broad, and finance is something that a lot of people think they like, but once they actually get into it, people become unsure. So it's always good to try on earlier on, and then build your experience from sort of first year or even before your first year. So I did, for example, my first internship was a venture capital internship while I was still in school. And I think that really helped me understand that venture capital is something I really want to do. Now, it could have gone the other way as well, right? It could have been that I completely don't like finance. So getting to know earlier on and having that clarity is always something that helps. I think something that's very important is once you intern at a firm, you have to be in touch with whoever you've interned with. So build that network, because that network helps you later on in life. So the people who I worked with in my first internship, I've been lucky enough to have been mentored by them for the next 4 years. So anything in finance, anything when it comes to internships, even now, or advice whether it comes to just college, I still go to them. So building that network really helps from the get-go. So I think second year, I mean, a lot of people do start in the second year, but it's always better to start early.
Right, right. You're still a student, and I know for a fact that you also network, you do coffee chats. Most people
Yeah.
think, especially for second years, they think that it's too early or they're not qualified enough. Um, how are you currently approaching networking within university, and how do you actively make sure that some of your coffee chats convert into opportunities for you?
Great, yeah, good question. I think so. Coffee chats is something that happens in the US a lot more. So in India, you don't really have coffee chats per se. It's more, at least in my experience, I can tell you what I've seen. So at university, we have a lot of founders or a lot of top executives from a lot of big firms that come and sort of give us talks. Right now, there is a networking sort of session set aside after these events as well. So that's a good time to sort of go up to them and start talking to them. Another thing is LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, I think, really helped me because I was on LinkedIn very early on. So I think in my 11th grade is when I started. And I think building a network on LinkedIn itself, whether it's cold emailing, cold messaging people, or just commenting on various posts, sort of engaging with people who are at the top of their field, really helps from the get-go. Apart from this, something which I think I should have done that I didn't do is attending networking sessions that happen in Delhi or in and around wherever your university is. So there are a lot of these networking sessions, whether it's something like a startup Mahakumbh or stuff like that, that keeps happening in and around, where you have people who are very experienced and at the top of their field coming in and sort of one-on-one interacting with you. That really helps. And if you can, of course, convert that into getting a contact or an email or something like that, then that really helps. So networking is very important.
This may come off as a weird question, but how do you separate yourself in terms of the questions that you're asking? Are there some really key
Yeah.
questions you have in your mind?
No, that's a good question. I think the trick is to, I mean, as simple as it sounds, just being yourself and sort of understanding before what you want out of that conversation. So, I mean, a lot of times in networking sessions, people just go up and sort of don't know what to say, and then the conversation just seems to fizzle out. But if you're talking to, say, XYZ founder, I think it's always important to have a purpose, right? Because that founder has come to you and is giving you their time. So it's important that you know what you want to talk about and you know what you want to get out of that conversation. So you don't have to sound extra smart. You can ask silly questions. You can, just be yourself. But it's important at the same time to have a specific direction in which you want to take that conversation. And it's important also to know that I don't think all networking sessions or all, coffee side chats or whatever lead to an internship or an offer. Some of them are just to sort of build experience and just to get a deeper understanding of your field or whatever that is you're talking about.
Yes. Uh-huh. I want to switch lanes a little bit now. Right now at
Yeah.
Ashoka, I'm sure you have dozens of opportunities, all sorts of clubs in finance, competitions, and there's only so much time. How do you decide that, oh, this is something that deserves my time, and this is something that I should do, as opposed to something that looks good solely on paper?
Correct. So I'll tell you one thing that really helped me when it came to this. So college, you're right. When you come in, there's a problem of too many things around you, but limited time. So I think what really helps is speaking to your seniors, your direct seniors, or even a couple batches above. Just having conversations with them regularly about what it is you want to do at that stage of your life, and what they did maybe that you could also do to be where they are, if that's something that you want to do. So that helped me from the get-go, because I think what you want to do keeps changing. I mean, when I came in as a first year, I wanted to do something, but now I want to do something else. But constantly having those conversations with your seniors, taking guidance from them, really helps. Because I'll give you an example. I am actually not a part of a lot of clubs in college, only a couple over the last 3 years. But I did work part time at a venture capital fund, which is Campus Fund, through my second year. So for me, that was, the trade off. I had to work part time, or I chose to work part time at that fund over being a part of clubs and societies on campus. So I think that's something very personal. It depends on what your aspirations are. Some people prefer doing clubs and societies. Some people want to work part time, but it purely depends on what kind of end goal you're looking at, or whose trajectory feels more personal to you, that you'd want to emulate to get maybe to where they are. So yeah, being
Mhm.
in constant touch with your seniors really helps.
So it's like a choice, and it depends on what your personal goals are, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
and it's never the case that if someone's path, if someone's done XYZ club and then XYZ internship, that it's going to work for you as well. So I think at some point you need to make your that decision for yourself. And I think instead of just looking at the end goal, even looking at your personal interest is also important. Like, even if someone's done XYZ to get to a certain place, you should also ask yourself if that's something you really want to do, or if you want to do this club over this club, because just purely because you're more passionate about it. So yeah.
Mhm. So a lot of students, they get motivated for a few weeks, they learn modeling, they're messaging people, but
Mm.
sometimes due to exams, social life, they may lose momentum. Since you were balancing coursework, internships, and networking at the same time, what habits have you built to remain consistent over the 3 years that you've
Yeah.
been at Ashoka for?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, and I think I'm like continuously learning as well. And I don't think I am very good at it myself, because just because of how how much stuff you have to do in the limited amount of time you have. But I think what really helps is having, sort of just having clarity in terms of what you want to do, a priority list, if that makes sense. So even if you don't know what all you want to do, but once you have a list of, sort of, like, if you have to do XYZ over the next few weeks or the next few months, having a priority list always helps, because some things will always get missed out. So like you were saying, social life, club life, academic life, whatever it is, you can't always be on top of everything, and that's completely fine, I think. But having a priority list and doing what you feel is most important first, then the second thing, always is a good idea. Because I mean, I don't think you would be able to actually balance everything perfectly, and I think that's just in theory. So yeah, it's just having a priority list and being consistent every day. I mean, that's something that you learn from school only, I think. Like, just
Yeah.
having a good timetable where you
Mhm.
manage stuff.
Yeah, you've given such great advice so far, and I have only one last question for you. This is
Yeah.
more reflective. Let's say
Yeah.
someone spent their first 2 years partying, doing the bare minimum academically, and only engaging in typical college life. They don't have
Yeah.
stacked internships, they don't have anything to show. If they have only 12 to 18 months, maybe 24 months left in university, what should they do strategically to position themselves in a way where they may possibly land a finance offer?
Yeah, I mean, no, that's a good question. And that's gotten me to think a bit. But I feel like there are many people like that. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong in enjoying college life and actually living the college experience as well. And I've seen many of my seniors as well, who for the first 2 years may not have been academically, the most disciplined or focused, but did turn around. So I think there's no specific 18 to or 12 to 18 month timeline as such. But once you do realize what your goal is, just starting right then. So whether it's then landing internships. So I've seen a lot of seniors, what they do is, if they realize that they're not stacked in terms of internships or grades, the last 12 to 18 months, they work a lot of part-time jobs. So part-time internships, which means that through the sem, you're working, not summer internships, but through the sem, you find different opportunities. So you always have to be on the lookout. And I think it's never too late, but just sort of starting is important. And once you start, things do fall into place. So I mean, I'm not in that situation right now, and I think I have about 12 months in college left as well. But something that I can give you an example of what I'm trying to do, I am trying to get as much experience as I can before, placement sort of start. Whether that's part-time work, different projects you can work on, basically stacking yourself, stacking your own resume, your own profile as well as you can for the type of aspirations you have, is the best idea, according to
Right,
me.
right. That busts the myth. And I've learned so much from this conversation. And I know for a fact that there's so much packed in every minute of this conversation for the listener as well. Thank you so much for
Right.
doing this with me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.